Hello friends, I am Professor S.N. Mane, Assistant Professor Kekewa College of Agricultural Engineering and Technology, Nashik. Today we will learn about the properties of perfect gases. Here in this lecture, we will learn about what is meant by perfect gas, what are the different variables which are responsible for the different laws of the perfect gas, then what are the different derivations like general gas equation, then characteristic gas equation. So let's start. Perfect gas. Perfect gas is also called as an ideal gas. It is a state of a substance whose evaporation is completely from its liquid state. That's why it is called as a perfect gas. Now, this perfect gas, it obeys all the gas laws under all the conditions of temperature and pressure. Different laws of perfect gases are there. The physical properties of a gas are controlled by the different variables like pressure, temperature, and the volume. See, pressure exerted by the gas, then volume occupied the gas, and the temperature of the gas. These are the variables which are responsible for the physical properties of a gas. First of all, we will learn about the Boyle's law. Boyle's law, it is formulated by scientist Robert Boyle in the year of 1662. It states that the absolute pressure of a given mass of a perfect gas, it varies inversely as its volume. See here, when temperature is constant, in that case pressure is inversely proportional to the volume of a gas. Now mathematically we will see here, that is pressure, absolute pressure of a gas is inversely proportional to volume. Also you can say volume of a perfect gas is inversely proportional to the absolute pressure, vice versa condition. Now see, when this proportional constant it get replaced by this constant, that is c, see you can write as a pv equals to c. Also for the different condition of a gases, we can write that equation as a P1 V1 equals to P2 V2 equals to P3 V3 up to the n condition. This is the Boyle's law. Then second law is the Charles law. Charles law is nothing but a, when there is the absolute pressure is remains constant, in that case the volume of a given mass of a perfect gas is directly proportional to the absolute temperature. See, volume is directly proportional to the temperature. You can write as a V by T equals to constant. Okay. Then for the different set of the gases, we can write as a V1 upon T1 equals to V2 upon T2 equals to V3 upon T3 up to the n condition. And this is the Charles law. Then next law is a Gay-Lussac's law. See, this law is states that when the volume of a perfect gas of a perfect mass of a gas is remains constant, in that condition pressure is directly proportional to the absolute temperature of a given mass of a gas. So see, the absolute pressure is directly proportional to the absolute temperature. You can write as a P by T equals to constant. Then for the various condition of the gases, see P1 upon T1 equals to P2 upon T2 equals to P3 upon T3 up to the n condition. So here we learn about the three different perfect gas laws, that is Boyle's law, Charles law, and the Gay-Lussac's law. So we will move towards the next point, that is the general gas equation. General gas equation, see, previously we have learned that is these three variables, that is pressure, volume, and temperature. Okay, these gas laws we have learned, that is when one variable is remains constant, in that case other two variables get changes with proportional to each other. But in actual practice, all the three variables like pressure, temperature, and volume, it gets changed simultaneously. Not a single variable, it remains constant. So from the two laws, we will derive the general gas equation, that is according to the Boyle's law and the Charles law. See, you know that Boyle's law, it states that absolute pressure is inversely proportional to the volume. You can also write as a volume is inversely proportional to the pressure. So you can give this equation number 1. Then according to the Charles law, when pressure remains constant, absolute volume is directly proportional to the absolute temperature. Then from these two equations, equation 1 and 2, you can combine the write as a volume is directly proportional to the temperature and inversely proportional to the pressure. Then mathematically you can write as a PV equals to CT. where C is nothing but a constant of proportionality. Then you can write this useful form of this general gas equation as a for the different conditions of sets of conditions of a gas, that is P1 V1 upon T1 equals to P2 V2 upon T2, then P3 V3 upon T3. When the perfect gas conditions has been different, in that case you can write this is the general gas equation. Okay, then next equation is the characteristic gas equation. This is nothing but a modified form of the general gas equation. Okay, means PV equals to Cp, it is get converted into the PV equals to mRT. That is the characteristic gas equation. See, if the volume V which is present in the general gas equation, it is taken as that of the 1 kg of a gas, that is suppose we have taken as a specific volume, it is denoted by letter Vs, and this constant C it get replaced by the constant that is capital R. It is the characteristic equation of a gas. In that case, this general gas equation you can write as a PVS equals to RT. Okay, this is the Vs is the specific volume, this is the R is the characteristic gas constant, T is absolute temperature, and this P is the pressure. This characteristic gas constant you can say simply as a gas constant. Okay, suppose for m kg of a mass of the gas, you can write that characteristic equation as a MPVS equals to MRT. Okay, now this product of mass and this specific volume combinedly you can write as a volume. Okay, then your equation it will become PV equals to small m into capital RT. Now the unit of R is nothing but a joule per kg degree Kelvin, and this value is that is 287 joule per kg degree Kelvin, or you can write as in kilojoule, that is 0.287 kilojoule per kg degree Kelvin. This is for the atmospheric air. Okay, so this is the characteristic gas equation, which is nothing but a modified form of our general gas equation, that is PV equals to MRT. This is the your characteristic gas equation. Now we will move towards the universal gas constant, or it is also called as a molar constant. Now this is denoted by, or it is calculated by the formula, that is Ru equals to Mr, where Ru is nothing but a universal gas constant, and it is nothing but a product of molecular mass of a gas into gas constant. Okay, see, M is nothing but a molecular mass of the gas which is get expressed in kg mole, and R is the gas constant. Now suppose in general M1, M2 and M3, these are the molecular masses of a different gases, and R1, R2, R3, these are the different gas constant. Okay, in that case your universal gas constant equation it will become as a M1 R1 equals to M2 R2 equals to M3 R3 equals to Ru up to the n condition. Now Ru it is same for all the gases. Now this value of Ru is also constant, that is 8314 joule per kg mole degree Kelvin, and in terms of kilojoule you can write as a 8.314 kilojoule per kg mole degree Kelvin. So this is all about the universal gas constant, or also you can call it as a molar constant. Now we will move towards the law, that is Avogadro's law. Now this Avogadro's law, it states that, see, equal volume of all the gases at the same condition of temperature and pressure, it contains the equal number of molecules. Okay, see, according to the Avogadro's law, 1 meter cube of oxygen, it will contain the same number of molecules as a 1 meter cube of oxygen. When same volume of gases are there, two different gases are there, but they act at same conditions of temperature and pressure. In that case, both the gases, they are containing the same number of molecules. This law, this statement, it is given by this Avogadro scientist. So it is called as a Avogadro's law. Then we will learn about the next law, that is Joule's law. Now this Joule's law, the scientist, it states that the change in internal energy of a perfect gas is directly proportional to the change in absolute temperature. Okay, this Joule's law, it states that change in internal energy of a perfect gas, it is directly proportional to the change in absolute temperature. So mathematically this dE is for the internal energy, change in internal energy, and dt is for the change in temperature. You can write as a dE equals to mc dt, where m is nothing but a mass of the gas, c is the constant of proportionality, or you can say it is the specific heat, and this difference of the temperature from final condition of a temperature to the initial condition. So this is all about the Joule's law. Now we will see the specific heats of a gas. Specific heat of gas is defined as the amount of heat it is required to raise the temperature of unit mass of a gas through 1 degree Celsius. So all of you know that all the liquids and solids, they having a they having a one specific heat value. But for the gas, the specific heat value, it varies. It get lying between the value of 0 and infinity. Okay. So this specific heat is divided into two types, that is specific heat at constant volume and the specific heat at constant pressure. So we will learn the individual derivations of these specific heats. So first of all, specific heat at a constant volume. See, suppose a particular amount of heat is, its definition of the specific heat at constant volume is that it is the amount of heat is required to raise the temperature of a unit mass of a gas through 1 degree Celsius when it is heated at a constant volume. And this, it is denoted by the letter capital C to the base V. Suppose we will take an example, that is, suppose a gas, it is contained in a container with a fixed lid. In that condition, and suppose we have heated this gas at a constant volume, then what happened? It will increases its pressure and temperature, whatever gas is present inside the container. Since you know that this lid is fixed, so volume of the gas, it remains unchanged. Now suppose we say that m is nothing but a mass of a gas, T1 is the initial temperature, T2 is the final temperature. So let's see the total heat which is supplied to that gas at a constant volume, it is get denoted by letter Q to the base 1 to 2, it is equals to the product of mass into the specific heat at constant volume and the rise in temperature. See, mathematically Q1 to 2, it is equals to mCV T2 minus T1. See, your gas is heated at a constant volume, so there is no any kind of work has been done by the gas. So total energy, whole energy it is supplied to that gas, it is utilized for increasing its temperature and the pressure. And this amount of heat supplied, it is remains within the body of that gas. It represents that the increase in the internal energy of the gas. Okay, so this is all about the specific heat at constant volume. Whatever gas has supplied with a particular quantity of heat, that is utilized for increasing its internal energy, not for doing any kind of the work, since we are heating that gas at a constant volume. Then we will see next derivation, that is specific heat at constant pressure. Its definition is that amount of heat is required to raise the temperature of unit mass of a gas through 1 degree Celsius when we are heating the gas at a constant pressure, and it is denoted by letter C to the base P. Similarly, we take an example, that is, suppose we have taken a gas contained inside a container and that is provided with a movable lid. In that condition, suppose we have heated this gas, it increases the pressure and temperature of the gas in the container. Since the lid of the container, it is movable, therefore it will move it will move towards the upward direction in order to counterbalance the tendency for the pressure to rise. Okay. Now this, suppose we take m as a mass of the gas, T1 is the initial temperature, T2 is the final temperature, then V1 is the initial volume and V2 is the final volume of that gas. Okay. And this condition, all this process, it is carried out at a constant pressure. See, the total heat supplied to the gas at the constant pressure, Q1 to 2, it is equals to product of mass into specific heat at constant pressure to the rise in temperature. See, Q1 to 2, it is equals to M Cp into T2 minus T1. Now this gas is heated at a constant pressure. Heat is supplied to the gas, it is utilized for two purposes. One, for to raise the temperature of the gas, and second one is for to do some external work, okay, during the change in volume. So this raise in temperature of the gas is denoted by formula, the equation, that is du. Du is the change in internal energy. It is equals to mcv T2 minus T1. And external work done during its expansion is denoted by work done from 1 to 2. It is equals to pressure. It is the constant pressure, and here only volume get changed. Okay, product of pressure and change in volume is nothing but a work done. You can write this PV2 minus V1 by the MR T2 minus T1 from this characteristic gas equation. Okay, so specific heat at constant pressure, it is higher than that of specific heat at a constant volume. So total heat is supplied to that gas at constant pressure. It is equals to the sum of internal energy plus work done. Okay, in this way, this heat supplied to the gas at constant pressure, it is utilized for two purposes. One, for the increasing its temperature, and second, for doing some work. So thank you.